Yo, yo. Happy Tuesday, guys. Good to see ya. Chance Foxley, stuck at work. Won't be able to catch the stream. Dude, don't apologize. Sometimes you gotta do that. You gotta work. You better work. I know how that goes. So, no problem, dude. Cheers. Good luck out there. Go get them. Do what you gotta do. All that good stuff. EOR. Hello, this is Robert Van Retro Huntington. How are you today, my friend? Good to see you. Got a couple of pre comments there. Shinji Akari saying, "What's up, guys? What's on my shelf says beware the nerd aisle in Target." That's sound advice. Shelf, if you're here, specifically, what do we need to be aware of? I guess, because I'll tell you what, right now, dude, Halloween is coming, and dang, dude, the temptation, the tentacion to just nerd out. Like, I have had my eye on this Star-Lord helmet, just like one-to-one replica prop. Last year I was Cyclops. This year I'm like, I kind of want to pull the trigger on a Star-Lord getup, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to do it. I have an Amazon cart. I'll put that. I'll put it that way. ER says, doing well today. I saw your new video. Oh, sweet, dude. Thanks for checking that out. Yeah, we can talk about that a little bit. If that spurred some, I don't know, questions, comments, process, all that good stuff. Let's talk about it. I was responding to some people, and the story on that video is kind of wild. It's cool because it's like doing well as far as the channel's concerned. Like, that's one of the better launches that a video has done, which is really cool. But the crazy part is I almost didn't do it. Like, I had the script for it written, and then in light of, you know, stuff that was going on and with Billy and stuff like that, I kind of tweaked a couple of things. And then I was just kind of sitting. We had wrapped up some filming when I was in Utah this weekend on Saturday night, and I was just kind of sitting there, and I was looking at my script, and I was like, you know what? I had a completely different idea of how I was going to do this, but it was beautiful outside. And I was like, you know what? This is popping in my head. I'm going to give it a shot. So I just went and did it, and then uploaded it really fast, and it looks like it's resonating with some people, which is really cool. So I love that. Let's see. Shelf says, too many attractive things. Sometimes cheap doesn't mean you should get. Yeah, I can see that. EOR says, dude, you already have the Cyclops glasses. Star-Lord looks worse if you ask me. You think so? Oh, man. Dude, the Star-Lord's helmet, I don't know what it is. I agree. Out of the two, Cyclops is my dude. Okay, you know, like, you guys can't see this, but like, just for constant inspiration, you know, a little gift from my buddy Eric, because he had two of these. I walked into his house, and I looked over at a shelf, and I was like, dude, are those X-Men toys? And he was like, oh yeah. And I was like, do you have two Cyclopses? It was like, it's meant to be. And then, of course, I keep this bad boy, you know, handy, just because every once in a while I got to throw it on. So yeah, Cyclops is my dude, for sure. But, dude, there's something about Star-Lord's getup that I dig. I really love it. I think it's so cool. So I'm thinking about it. I don't know. Shelf says, almost bought Godzilla X Power Rangers random bag for the chance to get a blue. What? Wait, so it's just like a random bag, but there's a chance that you might get a Zord in it? Oh, baby. EOR says, in that case, I'm glad you released it. Oh, talking about the video. Oh, sweet, dude. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was, yeah, it's interesting. Like, there's so many things about that video that were really, just interesting the way that it came together. If you guys haven't watched it yet and you don't know what we're talking about, on the channel I uploaded a video yesterday, right? Yeah, yesterday. technically on YouTube, the title is I'm Done Pretending. I am done pretending, but like I would refer to this video as Gaming is Childish. So if you haven't watched it yet, it's there. You should go watch it. It's doing pretty decent for the channel, and it seems to be resonating a lot with people, the message there. But it's really interesting because, yeah, like I said, I had the script written probably a month or 2 months ago, and it was just sort of like a stream of consciousness thing that I kind of put down as I was processing some things. And then in light of what happened with Billy, that's kind of spurred some ideas, and so I put some of that in there as well. And then, yeah, just kind of off the cuff decided to go shoot it. And then even in editing it, the editing is very minimal, and I intentionally wanted to kind of keep it that way. Like, my thought was almost like what I'm saying is more important than what's there visually, but I want what's there visually to be interesting. And then even when so this is really interesting, even when I recorded the voiceover, it didn't quite sound right to me. And so I was like in there tweaking some things and like trying to like filter some stuff and like EQ it to like make the quality sound better. And then I just happened to like go up and click on some of the presets, and then like all the presets were there, and you have stuff where it's like, make it sound like an old-timey radio, make it sound like it's over the phone. And I was like, huh, I'm just gonna try this. And I clicked one of the filters and then settled on and kind of tweaked some stuff, but settled on what you hear there, because I don't know, it just has this cool, like a little bit of like an old-timey vibe, but almost a little bit like over the phone. So my hope was that as you were listening, as you were watching it, and as you're listening to it, that it sounds like, I don't know, that you sort of get the vibe of like a friend who's like being vulnerable with you and kind of opening up with you a little bit, and that it creates that connection, because that is essentially kind of what the vibe was, I guess. So I don't know, but again, it's just one of those things where it's like, I'm not going to think too hard about like how I'm going to structure or try to make this thing. I don't know. I'm just going to go with my gut, and I'm just going to share vulnerably something, and there you go. So that's what it was. So anyway, I'm glad to see that it's resonating with some people, and yeah, I love that. That's awesome. Let's see. Straight Geeked Out. Dude, Raphael, what's up, man? Good to see you, brother. Shinji, what's up? EOR, if you want to geek out, how about a Batman mask? Oh, dude. I think I've told you guys on here before, but like when I was in the first grade, maybe, I had like this Batman. It was from Batman Returns, I think. I had a Batman costume, but the head was like this weird foam thing, and the ears just wouldn't stay pointy. So my mom like stuffed tissue in them to try to get them to like be more rigid, but they just kind of did this weird. So there's like a great photo somewhere where the mask is kind of sideways, so my eyes are all like kind of wonky, and the ears are all, oh, it's beautiful. Just classic like 90s, early 90s kids costume. I don't know. Shelf says, random chance toys. They picture the available toys on the package, and you get a chance at getting each toy. Oh, so it's almost like a mystery box, or like a mystery bag type thing. Okay, I get that. Totally cool. $8 a pop, that's not bad. Anthony Xavier in the chat says, R.I.P. Billy, we miss you so much. Dude, heck yeah. Ditto. And, dude, I'm not going to get like way into it, but I'll just say, if in any way you are familiar with sort of the state of how things are going right now, like I'll just say officially, so unfortunate. It's just really, really unfortunate. And all the drama surrounding it, and the people that and the stuff that it really feels like there's people sort of capitalizing on the ability to manufacture or blow out of proportion certain aspects, and like, yeah, dude, it's just really unfortunate. I didn't want to get too deep into it, but yeah, it really feels like there's a particular set of people who are trying to content farm and create a lot of drama for the sake of virality, maybe. And it's just, I want to cuss, but It's ridiculous. So yeah, just really, really unfortunate, and it's disgusting. I'll just say that it's disgusting. Okay, put it that way. Did you watch episode 71 yet with the wrestling match? I have not got to watch that video yet, but I did see some clips and some screenshots. When you told me that they had a wrestling match in their underwear, it didn't compute to me that they were like straight up just like I need to watch it because it looks amazing. So, oh my gosh, so ridiculous. Stray Geeked Out, the video was fire. The style worked nice for a video. Thanks, man. I love Zach. I haven't seen him yet. I don't know if Zach's here, but his comment of, is this a new genre? Rob SMR. Maybe. Who knows? You know? One of the things that I kind of talked about is like trying not to think too hard about like what I'm going to create, and just sort of like just making something that I feel or that I enjoy and hoping that it connects with you. And it seems like this one did, but it really was like just, I don't know. Like I just kind of put it together in a way that like, as I watched it, what's interesting is like putting it together. This is kind of like an interesting kind of like peek behind the curtain, is like, for better or for worse, I don't know if it serves me well all the time, but when I'm putting a video together, as I'm trying to finish it up, if it makes me feel something as I'm rewatching it, then to me that's a good sign. So like, this might be weird, but it's like when I'm putting together something that's silly, it's like as I'm finishing putting it together, like if it makes me smile as I'm watching it, and I can what's the word I'm looking for? The word that came to my head was inadvertently, but that's not what it is. It's like subconsciously, I guess, like I don't realize that I'm smiling or that I'm kind of chuckling as I'm watching it back, like, oh, that's a good sign. And with this one, I'll be honest with you guys, like as I listened back to it and was like getting ready to publish it, it would still kind of stir something, even like kind of get me a little choked up at times. And I'm like, to me, that's a good sign. It means that there's something there that I put down that was authentic and real and made me feel something. Hopefully it makes you feel something too. And at the end of the day, like that's the home run, you know? And so, yeah. Let's see. William McClure, what's up, Rob? At work, I'll be lurking with you in the background. Oh, that's awesome, dude. What's up? It's good to see you, man. Yeah. Yoar says, why would you lie about that? It was incredible. Billy and Wood had no prep time, so they just went in with their boxers. Yeah, I think I saw I think it might have been Wood. It has like neon green, like trunks. It's like, oh man. Just wild. I love it. And I think they both have like their long hair, so it's like, it kind of has that vibe of like an indie wrestling event. Oh my gosh. So ridiculous. Anthony says, I heard what's going on. I couldn't believe it when I first heard it, but then I had my own experience with one of the guys, so my intuition was correct. Yeah. And that's one of the things I'll say is like, for most of us, none of us know these people in real life. And I know I talked about like the parasocial stuff last week, and I think that's real and I think that's true. But when it comes to some of these behind the scenes details of things that are going on, and especially people in the midst of unimaginable sadness and grief, like nobody's at their best. Nobody is functioning no one is functioning at 100% capacity, whether it's mental capacity, emotional capacity, any of those things. And so it's not surprising that there is things that are messy and complicated, but I think part of it is like, I'm also seeing like, especially on like Reddit and on Twitter, like people just crashing out, man, who just have it all figured out and just have their minds made up about who certain people are or the way they are. And it's like, I think the tie that binds, regardless of who is on what side, like the tie that binds is consistently, I'm hearing everybody say, this isn't what Billy would have wanted. It's like, that's the one thing that feels like everybody, regardless of what side they're on, can get behind. It's like, this isn't how Billy would have wanted it. You know what I mean? That's just unfortunate. It's really sad. Raphael says, sometimes it's best to let creativity flow naturally. Yeah, dude. Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes you just don't think too hard about it. I think that's part of it. And sometimes the thinking too hard about it goes both ways. Sometimes it's either thinking too hard about how to package it. Sometimes it's thinking too hard about thinking too hard about the details of it and whether it's going to work, and then you don't do it. Like, that's something I'm very guilty of. I'll be honest with you. Is like overthinking something and being like, you know what? This is going to suck. Like, nobody's going to like it, or it's not going to be cool, or it's going to be a, I don't know, it's going to like torpedo the any momentum or anything I have on the channel, like all that stuff. So yeah, just, yeah, that is, thinking too hard about it is bad all the way around. Shinji says, I just watched the video. Amazing. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. BK Lamb, did you get my message from Twitter or the message on the video? Dude, I don't know. Hang on, let me take a look here. I don't remember. I'm looking at my, if you're talking about the Retro Hunters Twitter, I don't think so. I'm not seeing any notifications or direct messages. If you're talking about like my personal Twitter, I'll be honest with you, I never use it. Hardly at all. So if you sent it to that one, I don't think so. But when you're, oh wait, dude, yes. Okay, sorry. I see, sorry, I see your comment right here. Yes. You know what, let's take a look at that real quick. We can look at some comments on the videos and stuff like that. All right, here we go. Brian Lamb, 1477. Gaming is not childish to some people. Retro games and consoles are better. These new video games are copy and paste every year. When video games come out, they are not worth about $70 to $120. Sports games like FIFA, NBA 2K, Madden, and others are paid to win, and the gameplay is broken through the years. To which I responded, dude, retro for life. And then Brian, you said retro games and consoles will always be better. Yeah, dude. I'm 100% with you. And I hope that when people watched it, I think, you know, some of the title and the way I kind of approached it is supposed to be a little tongue-in-cheek. It's like there would be people who would say it's childish, and to them I would say, whatever, dude. And then I would take that and I would flip it on its head and I say, you know what? If it is childish, then there's some aspects of it that are childish in all the best ways, which I talk about in the video. So it's like, cool, dude. If you think it's childish, sweet. Go connect with people over something else. But if, like I said in the video, if it helps me to connect with my imagination and to connect with other people in a community and even like rediscover some of those childhood roots and stuff like that, then sweet. Call it childish, man. Maybe that's not such a bad thing. You know what I mean? So there you go. Shelf says, community is named YouTube. Videos uploaded on your channel represent you. I think people who are not uploading stuff they find interesting are lost in the sauce. Lost all up in that sauce. Yeah, you know what I think it is, dude? And it's like when you think about YouTube and you're trying to create. And I'll be honest with you, it's like, yes, like this is a creative outlet, but like I am trying to do this thing, if that makes sense. Like it's not just like I throw this stuff out there in my spare time because I got nothing better to do, and like I show up here every Tuesday because like I just got nothing to do. It's like as I've come back, I am intentionally trying to make this a thing. Like I want to consistently be here and connect with you guys because we have a community, like we have a relationship. Like these people show up every single week, and we get to connect and hang out. And so there's like these names that are popping up over here. It's like, as much, not to speak for you, maybe as much as you look forward to me popping on this screen, I look forward to the same people showing up right here and reconnecting with you, hearing how your week is going, hearing your thoughts and opinions on the things that we're talking about. Like, that's a thing for me too. You know what I mean? And so it is this give and take of like, we're doing something here. And so, it's like you said, it's easy to get the whole like lost in the sauce. It really is, because like you start seeing people who are successful and you start trying to like listen to different tips and tricks and like strategies and all of that kind of stuff. And it's like, there is something to that. Like there's some meat on those bones for sure. But there's also something so unique about your personal creativity, your YouTube journey, the personal community that we're trying to build. Like there's something unique about this space that for the most part, nobody else can speak into. It's just its own unique thing. And so it can be very, it can just be tempting to like see what somebody else is doing and be like, well, that seems to be working for them. How do I do something like that? Or, there's all these strategic things that it says that I should do. So like, let me prioritize those things. And in reality, it's like, well, maybe I just need to like, as you're saying, Shelf, lean into the you part of it and just make that the number one goal. Like consistency, community, and me. That's it. You know what I mean? And so it really is this journey of trying to figure all that out, dude. But I'm just glad you guys are patient and you're along for the ride to check it out. Oh, dude, Jake dies again in the chat. Let me take a swig before I read this. Nothing about retro gaming is childish. Unless you like Buster Bust Loose, then yes, that's childish. Dude, EOR coming to defend my honor. Thank you. Thank you, EOR. You are truly a scholar and a gentleman. Dude, I love that comment. Jake, shut your filthy mouth. All I have to say, later today, Jake dies again. Retro Survivor. Are we getting another episode today, my friend? I'm assuming we are, because it's Tuesday. Buster Bust Loose is still in the running. And I want to say that this community has been key. I don't think that's telling tales out of school. I don't think that's like tooting too hard on my own horn. Unintended innuendo. This community, and if there was a general at the front of that army commanding those troops to walk into battle to defend Buster Bust Loose, I would be that general. But every general has like his right-hand man. It's like if I'm George Washington, I need my Alexander Hamilton, and that is the Michael B. If you're in the Discord and you know the Michael B has been, when I've been called away on another tour of duty, the Michael B has showed up and made sure that Buster does continue to indeed bust loose. That's all I have to say. And Jake has been a great sport about it. Oh my gosh. So yeah, Retro Survivor later this afternoon, everybody. We got some work to do. We got to get over there and make sure that Buster continues to bust loose. Shinji says, happy to be a part of this beautiful community. Dude, I'm glad you're here too, brother. I'm glad you're here too. Adam Wilson. What's up, my friend? Says, yo, Retro Hunter. Dude, that's me. That is me. What can I say? Usagi Akimbo, what's up, man? Good to see you as well, my friend. Hey, thank you for your kind words on the video. I saw your comment there, and I really appreciated that. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. You know, there's a couple things we can talk about. I don't know how, but somehow ModRetro sent me over a chromatic. So I've had this thing for about a week. Not even a week. Actually, today I think is a week. And I traveled to Utah this weekend. I took it with me, had it on the plane. They sent over 3 games to check out. I know that this is probably not in focus, but they sent over this game called Dragon Hymn. I don't know if it's supposed to be like Dragon Hymn, like a hymn you sing. Dragon Hymn. I don't know. Let me see if that. Oh, not my exposure. Let's do autofocus. Will that autofocus on that? Is that too close? Oh, is it my face? Because it's in front of my face? I don't know. I'm trying to get that to focus for you guys, but I don't know if it's going to. Let's see. What if I move? Let me see. Oh, there we go. I'll have to do it manually, but there you go. So they sent over this one, Dragon Hymn, which is kind of like a mix of like Zelda, like a Final Fantasy, stuff like that. They sent over their Tetris, okay? Their Chromatic Tetris. And they sent over this one called Wicked Plague. Out of the 3, this one's pretty ridiculous. I actually finished playing through it and really enjoyed that. I am going to be making I'm making some collateral for them in exchange for them to send it over. So after that's done, then I'm actually gonna make I'll do like a full-on review of it. That'll just be kind of an unbiased. I'll give you my 2 cents. I have thoughts. I will say that when it comes to the ModRetro Chromatic, when I read about it, I had an initial impression. I will say that impression has changed with a caveat. I'll put it that way. I won't get into it now, but having it in hand opened my eyes to a couple of things, but we'll get more into that in an actual video at some point. So we'll talk about that. Let's see. Shelf says, have you played Buster's Hidden Treasure? I have not. Eeyore says, Adam called Rocket Knight Adventures the Dark Souls of mascot platforming. I wouldn't call it easy, but come on. It's not that hard. You have a big health bar. Let's see. Jake says, I told the chat last week that Rob isn't here today, so now is the time to make your move, boys. But Michael B. swayed the crowd. He's been standing on business for Buster in your absence. I'm telling you, dude. I need my right-hand man. A hand, bro. William McClure, what handheld is that again? That is the ModRetro Chromatic. Now, from what I understand about this guy, you know I'm not a tech guy. Okay, I'm not like a big technical dude. I'll give you a quick rundown, and we'll expand it more in another video. But here's what you need to know about this thing. From my understanding, one-to-one recreation of the original Game Boy screen. So nothing here is scaled in any way. It is 100% authentic, exactly the way that it's supposed to be. This will play their proprietary carts. Okay, like I said, they have people who are releasing games made specifically for it. Tetris, Dragon Hymn, Wicked Plague, which again, this one, if you did decide to pull the trigger on one of these, this one right here, it's like a Metroidvania kind of vibe, a Quackshot-vania, if you will. This one is money. I would say go for that one. It also will play original Game Boy carts and Game Boy Color. Those are your options. You can't load ROMs, okay? So this is very much you want it old school, you want to pop in a cart, you want to play that cart. It doesn't connect to the internet. It's not, you're not doing any of that kind of stuff. You're playing their proprietary carts, original Game Boy carts, or Game Boy Color. That's it. And then there are some nuances, things like price, things like ethics within the company. All of those are going to be things we'll talk about in a video. So those are things to do your research on. But I will say my initial impression when I first saw this thing was one way. After having it for a week and having my hands on it, there are merits to it that I did not consider nor realize that I've been swayed on a little bit. But like I said, we'll get into the weeds in a video. You know what I mean? Yeah. Let's see. Jake says, yes, another episode today, everyone who will vote Buster off. 5. So if you are planning on going to see Jake's Retro Survivor and you're planning on voting Buster off, it is tomorrow, so make sure you watch it tomorrow. But if you're planning to go and vote to keep Buster around, then you get exclusive early access by going today, 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Oh my gosh. Shelf says Rocket Knight is not Dark Souls. How young is Adam? Here's what I'll say. No, I get it. There's different levels of gamers. Different people have different skill levels, different perseverance levels, patience, whatever. If Rocket Knight feels like Dark Souls, you're in trouble. Like, to somebody who loves Dark Souls, and it's like one of the only games that I feel like when I'm playing it, it gets me close to cussing. And I love it. It's part of the reasons why I love Silksong, dude. Silksong is like a little bit of like a Dark Souls light, but it's still got some of those vibes that remind me of Dark Souls. I love the punishment, but it's tough. And to me, Rocket Knight doesn't feel that way, but to somebody it might. Raphael says at some point you have to then do a Chromatic versus Amber Nick. That we can talk about in the video. Absolutely. I don't want to get into that yet. Like I said, I have some collateral that I need to make for ModRetro. And then once that's done, then I'll kind of open up a little bit more about that. EOR says, I think he was 41 at the episode. It wasn't negative about the game, but come on, it's not even a one-hit kill. And then Shelf says, play Gremlins 2 on the Game Boy and see how unfair a platformer that can be. I've never played any of the... I don't think I've ever played any of the Gremlins games, actually. Eeyore says, did you test it with OG carts? I would like to know how it does GBC enhanced games like Pokemon Yellow. Okay, I have not, but let me tell you something. The amount of fun that I was having with it caused me to say, okay, you know what? I'm not big on collecting physical anymore. But I might be able to get behind trying to get my hand on some original Game Boy carts just to see what the vibe is here. So I did order a Game Boy cart of Bionic Commando, which, as you know, I'm a huge fan. I did order it off of eBay, and it's supposed to be here tomorrow, I think. I was hoping it would be here today so that we could do a little something with it, but alas, it didn't get in the mail in time. So it's going to be here tomorrow. So that will be part of the video to kind of look at how does it handle, first party or like, the old carts. From everything I'm seeing, flawless. So if that is something that's important to you and you're willing to pay a premium price for it, then that's a good option. And there are some people that like they're going to vibe on that real hard. Like, you got the means, you have the passion, this is a good option for you. That's not going to be everybody, but there are some people like that. So yes, I do have one coming. That's honestly just because I love that game, but it'll be a fun one to test on. And then if I come across some that are reasonable, or if I got a buddy or somebody who's got an extra cart that they want to send over for me to kind of mess with, then I'm definitely happy to check it out for sure. Let's see. Shinji says, can't wait for the review. Oh, yeah. William says, I have a bunch of retro ROM stuff on my Steam Deck, but I still want the old school Game Boy handheld. I might grab one. Yeah. I would say if you're interested in something that you're going to be able to use your ROMs on, you're probably going to need to go with something else. Now, the one thing that I'm not sure about, and EOR just mentioned in the chat, something like an EverDrive, or like a, I guess essentially be an EverDrive. You know, something like that. I don't know how or if that works with this. I have not tested that out. I guarantee you somebody has. Like if we search it on YouTube, I'm sure we can see if somebody's figured that out. If you had some sort of a EverDrive vibe that you could pop into this and that would work, and there's going to be people who are going to say get an analog pocket. It'll essentially do the exact same thing. That may be an option for you. If you're not worried about the carts and you're just worried about having something that's in a vertical form that'll play your ROMs, then there's a lot of stuff that Ambernic has that's really great. Stuff like the Miu Mini, which is a different company than Ambernic, but like guys like TechDweeb, who are like the utmost authority on a lot of the handheld stuff in the YouTube scene, he raves about that stuff. So I think it just depends on kind of what options you want and what's going to be important to you and what's not, I guess. So Shelf says, I think you can have a really good Game Boy library for cheap. There are expensive games like Avenging Spirit or say Ninja 5.0 on GBA, but most decent don't even crack 30. Yeah. And I mean, and like I said, for this, you're only doing like original Game Boy and Game Boy Color. So you're not even getting into advance and stuff like that. I don't want to spoil the video, but I will say this is the first vertical one that I've owned in a while. This is the first vertical one I've owned since I owned the original Game Boy back in the day. I will say that, something like the 35XXH, which I love this thing, I always usually go for that horizontal feel because I think that's more comfortable for my hands. But what I will say is that there's something about the size of this where even when I'm playing certain games, like I can go one-handed, So like when I was on the plane and I'm just like walking between towns or something, it's like nice to just hold it and like just be able to move, open a door if I need to, and it's all one-handed until things get serious. And then once things get serious and you're two-handing it, the size is fine, feels good. There's no wireless headphone, Bluetooth, anything like that, so there is a headphone jack. So I mean that's kind of old school too. You're like plugging that in, popping it in, so there's that. If there's anything about this thing that I'll rave about, it's the buttons. I'll just say that. The buttons are ridiculous. The feeling of those things is buck wild. Shelf says, I think you can... Oh, yeah, okay. Usagi says, if it plays OG carts, it should work with an EverDrive. Yeah, dude. I feel like I haven't dabbled with EverDrive, but I feel like that might be kind of a next step. We'll have to see about that. Shelf says, I love the original Mega Man games on the GBW. They are all really tight. Yes. Dude, that's how I felt about Bionic Commando. Like I said, like I think I mentioned it. Oh, you know what? I mentioned it in a Game Boy video that I didn't publish, that I just didn't feel like turned out very well. At some point, I think I'm going to make a video specifically about Bionic Commando on the NES versus the Game Boy, because I was a fan of the NES version for the longest time. It's probably my favorite NES game of all time. I didn't realize there was a Game Boy version, so I played the Game Boy version on the 35, and it's really good. Like, I would venture to say Bionic Commando on the Game Boy, I think I like it better than the NES. And so when you're talking about the Mega Man games, having the tight controls, that's how I feel about the Bionic Commando on the Game Boy. It's just as robust as far as levels and design and all of that, but the way it plays and the art style of the Game Boy version is just a lot cooler. So yeah, if you've never played it, check it out. But I do have the original cart for Bionic Commando on the Game Boy arriving tomorrow, so I'll let you know how that goes. Maybe we'll fire it up next week, and that'll be something that we'll kind of look forward to. and see how that goes. Shelf said, okay, so Shinji says, how much is it? Shelf says, I think it's $200. That is correct. All right, my nose is running. Yes. So if you, at checkout, when you go to buy one, you have two options for Gorilla Glass or Sapphire for the display. Okay, they sent me over the Gorilla. So $199. If you go for the Sapphire, $299. I'm pretty sure. You know, let's go to the website and make sure I'm not. Make sure I'm not telling tales, baby. Here we go. Let's open the browser. All right. So here it is. Okay, it comes in multiple colors. They were gonna let me pick any color. I went with the green because green is like my favorite color. There's part of me that's like, oh man, maybe I should have went with the orange. That's pretty sick. If you go with the yellow, you get like Pikachu vibes. You know what I mean? And you know, I'm always a big fan of like the white finishes on things. I just think are so clean. But the black is pretty sick. Like they're all good. Honestly, I could have went with any color. I was showing it to my girls, and they're like, oh man, you should have got the pink. Which it has Kirby vibes for sure. Like it's so cool. So yeah, bundled with Tetris, Gorilla Glass, $199. If you go Sapphire, $299. So that's something to think about. When it comes to the games as well, price point varies here. This is a thing. Okay, so Wicked Plague, this one that I was just telling you about that I thought was really good. I finished it. Great experience. Actually really loved playing through this. Almost felt like it could have been longer. Like it felt a little short, and the price point on that's $40. Was it a $40 game? Eye of the beholder, man. Eye of the beholder. I don't know. And then Dragon Hymn, which is this one here that I also have, $44.99, $45. This one definitely has more of like a, or like old school Final Fantasy, like Final Fantasy 1 and 2, and like JRPG vibe to it. So I think this is going to be a little bit of a longer playthrough. There might even be a little bit of like grinding that I got to do and stuff like that. But yeah, that's something to consider as well. So you're looking at between $200 to $300 for the system, and then their proprietary games, and they say there's more coming, anywhere from about $30 to $50. So there's that. Let's see. Shelf is talking about the Capcom ports. Yeah, dude, they're also good. Love that. I haven't played Tailspin, though. That's one that I need to check out. We've mentioned that here a couple of times, that it would be cool to play Tailspin. Usagi says the pink looks cool. It really does have Kirby vibes. Yeah, dude. It's like when I'm looking at this, I'm like, okay, you got like Kirby, Pikachu, right? Is this like Charizard, maybe? I feel like that's the vibe I got, is like a Charizard. For the green, and just green. I don't know that it like all of a sudden like ties to something for me. Same with the blue. Doesn't really like, maybe like a Vaporeon. Like I don't know why I'm thinking about Pokemon, but like Vaporeon maybe. Black is sick, and then the white with the purple reminds me of something, and I can't put my finger on it. So maybe it does for you. Shinji says, do the new games work on the Game Boy? That I don't know. We'd have to... I don't know that I know anybody locally who has an original Game Boy. Huh. The only reason I think probably not, unless it does some sort of like palette swapping. Let me show you this. So like if we put Wicked Plague in here, you're going to see that like palette-wise, it is like there's some stuff going on here that the original Game Boy wouldn't have been able to do. Now the Game Boy Color probably. Let me see here. I don't know what's going to happen if I hit... Oh, yeah, if I hit continue. So this is, like, right before kind of the final boss. But you can see that, like... oh, you know what? I think this does use USB-C out. Hang on a second. I don't know if this is going to work. Let's see if this works. Streaming. Sorry, we're just doing this on the fly. I don't know if this is going to work, but it's supposed to be able to... Let me turn it off. And then kick it on and see if it... Sorry, my slide is on down there and it's doing something funky. Oops, not that one. Let me see here. If we go... Click slide. Huh. I don't know what I'm supposed to do to make this connect. I thought I would just plug it in and it would immediately start streaming, but it's not doing it. Huh. Well, yeah, so all that to say, could the original Game Boy handle the newer games? Probably not, just because there is some, like... They're leaning more into the Game Boy Color hardware, probably. Well, I guess, okay, hang on. Could the game... See, I didn't own a Game Boy Color, so I don't know a lot about it. Could the Game Boy Color at launch play original Game Boy carts? And if so, how did it handle it? Was it just like monochrome, but backlit? I don't know a lot about the Game Boy Color, so somebody in here will know. So throw it in the chat. What did that look like? Because that's probably what it would do then. Let's see. Oh, okay, wait. Shinji is saying Yoshi is... Oh, Yoshi Green. Oh, dude, you're right. Okay, yeah, I'm getting some Yoshi vibes. Like, maybe if these were a little bit more red, you kind of get, like, his shoes. But, okay, yeah, I could see that. Yeah, that's great. Oh, and then Anthony Xavier says Mewtwo. Ah, for the white. Yeah, I can see that. Okay. See, it's coming together. Some good stuff. Jake asks, oh, real quick, Darko1226, really liked your latest video. Thank you, my friend. I really appreciate that. Like I said at the beginning of the stream, I almost didn't make it. It all kind of came together as a really quick thing there was like a stream of consciousness thing that I needed to get out. So it's really cool to see it resonate with so many people, and I love that. I love that. So thank you so much. I really appreciate that. All right, Jake says, are you getting the M64 when it drops? No. I'm not planning on it. I'll put it that way. As of right now, I don't know enough about it. If we look at the website, let me see here. So for anybody who doesn't know, one of the things that ModRetro is getting ready to drop is an N64 emulation console. Oh, this is, okay, they're trying to show us how much it's going to cost. $199. Here's what I'll say. And if ModRetro is watching this, I am not aching for a N64 emulation hardware console. It's just not something that I'm aching for. So am I planning on getting it right now? No. But I was not aching for a one-to-one Game Boy resurgence that only plays old school carts. I wasn't aching for that. When I got it in my hand, things changed. Things changed a little bit. So all I have to say is, I'm not planning on getting one, but if ModRetro wants to send me an M64, I will be happy to have them change my mind and inspire me at what it is that I'm missing. Because I was wrong in the past. I'm going to be wrong in the future. So if an M64 happened to come my way, I would be happy to give it a look and allow myself to re-fall in love with it, because that's probably what's going to happen. Okay, take it easy, Jason. Let's see. Oh, Sour Cream Sanchez, what's up, dude? I'm wearing my My Chemical Romance shirt today. Our board of directors couldn't say anything but accept it. Dude, that's emo. I love it. I love that. Let's see. Shelf says you can probably switch palettes on the GBW games, similar to how you could do when booting a GBW on a GBC. That would be sick. I will test it out. That'll be part of the video. We'll check that out. That would be rad. EOR says I think they want to push it out before Analog gets their system out. Because you know what, and that's the thing. Everybody kind of pits these two against each other. When it comes to the Chromatic, it's like anybody who looked at it was like, oh, just get an Analog Pocket. And in some aspects, that's going to be a good move for certain people. In other aspects, specifically for what people are looking for, the Analog is probably not going to scratch that itch. I think it's a smaller sect of people, but still, there's a niche there, I think. And so getting it out before Analog, I think, is a good call. Get it in people's hands, man. Darko says, the music is a little too loud. Oh, to hear me clearly? Here, I can kick it down just a little bit. I'll tell you, Darko, it's always like a battle to try to figure out the levels, because I don't necessarily hear the exact mix that you guys do. So I have to like go back and listen and then kind of try to tweak things. So I appreciate that feedback. Here, I'll kick it down. Let me see, that's pulling it down for you guys. I'll put it right about, I dropped it about 10%. So let me know how that feels when this next song kicks in. Shinji says, did you see the new Anbernic DS? Dude. I did. Talking about the leaks? Let me see this. Anbernic DS leaks. Let's pull this up. This is on the Escapist. Let's head over to the browser, baby. Anbernic DS clone leaks scarily close to the original. Here you go. This is Anbernic, the company behind the vast influx of low-cost retro handhelds, is now extremely clever clones, and some extremely clever clones of Nintendo's best, is back with another dangerously close replica. Oh man, do you hear that? It's like, he's a bad boy. The new RGDS has leaked ahead of the official announcement. The first dual-screen entry from the company would be a fascinating middle ground, it says. This seems to be a trend right now. I know that like Retroid was releasing their, they released like their add-on to make the Pocket a dual screen. So this thing seems to be a thing right now, the dual screen. I was never a big dual screen handheld guy. I did have a 3DS for a hot minute. But then, like a lot of, like quite a few things in my collection, it got burgled when I lived in Bakersfield, California. And so my PS3, some other stuff, my 3DS was one of the things that got taken. So I owned, like I said, a dual screen handheld for a very short amount of time. It just doesn't have the same draw for me. I think there's something too about the clamshell that I'm not as big a fan of, but if I got my hands on one, I have to give it a try and see, kind of see what I think about it. But I've always been more of a horizontal guy. And then, yeah, messing with the Chromatic. I'm enticed by the vertical form factor. It's more comfortable than I anticipated, but I'll have to keep dabbling in that and kind of see what that's like. Oh, Darko says that's better. Awesome. Sweet, dude. The Michael B, what's up, dude? You did miss the stream. We've only got about 5 more minutes. I will say you are going to want to go back and watch the front end of the stream because I mentioned you specifically. So you're going to want to see that. Shinji says, for the price, I might give it a chance. Oh, yeah, let's see. Okay, did they announce a price for the Anbernic RGDS? I don't know that I've seen anything. I'm imagining that it's going to have a similar chipset to... I could be wrong. I don't think it's going to have like the most buck wild chipset that they offer. So it's not going to be their most powerful, but it's probably going to be something similar to around the RG35. So, I mean, as long as you're playing anything from like PS1 and down, and definitely, you know, things like DS, Super Nintendo, all of that will probably be really great on it. So, are you saying you saw that it's going to be around $100? Okay, dude, that's not bad. Especially if you're into that DS form factor, $100 is so worth it. It's so worth it. It's like I was in the Discord, I was telling my buddy Garrett Cronlin, who popped in. I haven't talked to that guy in a while, but it was good to see him there. If you're looking to jump in, if you don't have a handheld, if you're looking to jump in, like, you can get something that is going to cover a very vast library and be really cool for you for under $100, which just is mind blowing. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna be just fine. So, if that DS one is hitting at like $100, that's great. Michael B says, for sure will do. Do you think Ambernick will eventually release an updated slide version with better PS2 and GameCube capabilities? I don't know, dude. Right now, so when it comes to the slide, it can do some decent GameCube. There are some games that you have to make a little bit of a you have to tweak the settings to kind of lock it in. Similar with some of the PS2 stuff as well. Like, some games run really well, some require you to go in and kind of like underclock it and stuff like that. I don't know that they're going to release another slide. I wonder if it was like one of those one-off gimmicky things where it's like, they knew, hey, this is going to resonate with a certain crowd. This is going to be great, but will it turn into like one of their like long run form factors that they continue to make? I just don't know, man. It really depends on how the sales did. I will say more people have adopted the slide than I anticipated. Okay. We added Marcone to the slide army. Oh my gosh. I love it so much. The slider crew. So congratulations to him. I hope he's loving it. But I don't know. If they did, that'd be sick. Because I love the form factor. Like, that's still my go-to. That I carry around most days. Let's see. Raphael says the vertical form factor is nice. That's why I bought the 35XX Pro. Yeah, baby. I will say, with the Chromatic, you know, there was, when I was traveling to Utah for the filming weekend, like, I was popping it in my jacket front pocket. I was popping this in my back pocket, in my pants. And so, yeah, the vertical form factor is really nice for pocketability. I will say that. But as you even saw in the video, like, the slide, I just toss it in my back pocket, and it's obvious. Like, in that first shot, when I walk away from the camera, you can see it in that butt pocket, but it works. What can I say? I dig it. And that's one of the most important things. I want power, but I want it to be pocketable as well. And it's part of the reason why I've hesitated. I've been this close, dude, to pulling the trigger on like a Retroid Pocket 5, to have something that has just a little bit more power. But the pocketability of it, I don't think it's going to do it. So I don't know. I'm holding off on that. We'll see. Shinji says we need to spam Ambernick so they send you one. Dude, that would be rad. I am a part of the affiliate program. So here's what I'll say, just so everybody knows. I am a part of the Ambernick affiliate program. So if you decide to pull the trigger on an Ambernick device, let me know. I'll get you an affiliate link. When you make the purchase, the channel gets a little kickback. It is minuscule. Okay, I think so. Like, a couple of people here in the community have purchased some devices, and I think it's probably been a total of like $500 or $600 worth of sales total for all of those people buying things, and the amount of kickback that I've got has been about $6. So it is like, 4% or something like that. The kickback is small, but that little bit supports the channel, and that's great. But what I'm hoping is that the more people they see within this community engaging with their stuff, that they will see, hey, it could be a value for us to send some things that then I can make some videos on and stuff like that. And like, I'll just be frank with you guys, like, I'm not looking to accumulate a bunch of stuff here. So at some point, especially if it's something that I'm like, this doesn't enrich my gaming experience overall, then I'm going to need to get rid of some of these things. And like, I'd love to do some giveaways and stuff like that and just like send people some stuff. So it's in a way we can all win if we can get them to that point. But there you go. All right, dude, we are at time. So I do have to run. Let me just catch up on this chat one more time. Amber Nick Army. That's right, dude. Let's go. Jake says, all right, Michael B, you can't come in here late and expect us to change the subject for you. Just like a Buster fan. Oh my gosh. There you go. Dude, Buster will continue on. That's right. That's what I'm talking about. That's the spirit. I love that. All right, guys, I do have to run. Thank you guys for being here. If you haven't checked out the new video that's live on the channel right now, please go watch it. I think most of you have. Please go watch it. And here's the thing I'll say. If you watched it and you liked it, it resonated with you, one of the coolest things you could do is share it out. Like whether it's on your social media, whether it's a friend that you can like text it to, like get the word out, share it with somebody that you think is going to connect with it. Cause that's great for the channel, but it's also cool to like, I don't know, for people to connect with it. I just think that's so cool. So do that. If you can, I really appreciate that. If you can thumbs up the stream, that's super helpful. Please do that. I want to give a shout out to the patrons, Owen Toast, Marcone, and to my $5 patrons, my Crew Plus members, brand new as of yesterday, Garrett Cronlin, dropping in on the $5 patron level. I love that. Thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate all the support. And of course, JB Doll, holding it down, one of my longest running patrons. Thank you for your support of the channel. I really, really appreciate it. Guys, head on over to the Discord. We got a new game tomorrow that we got to start for the Game of the Month Club. So if you want to be a part of that, links are down in the description below. And I think that's it. Good to see you guys. There's too many of you for me to shout everybody out, but you know, I'm glad you're here. It's the crew. It's awesome. Love you guys. Have a happy Tuesday. Go get them. Play some retro games today. My light just died. That means it's time to go. I don't want to, but I got to. Okay. Have a great day, guys. I'll see you at Retro Survivor in just a couple hours. See ya.